What have I done? I don't know. I got a 52 Cub at auction a couple months ago, and learning about it, you know, trying to get this thing useful for our small acreage here to do some farming type stuff relatively soon here. So this is kind of an open call for any comments that might be helpful. I'm already on the forums learning about this thing, but anyway, 52 Cub. Got it for a pretty reasonable price. For total transparency, I paid $1,500 for it. For this thing, the grater blade that's attached, it's parked with the blade up because it died on me when I was trying to plow some snow with it. Get to that in a minute. But it came with a bunch of plows, cultivators, a whole bunch of stuff, but it didn't come with any harrows or discs. So I've got plows and cultivators, no discs, no harrows. You know, I don't know. Can I plow and then hit it with the cultivator? I don't know. It's kind of an open question, like I said. Anyway, I did a bunch of maintenance type stuff to it. I greased all the fittings. You could probably see, you know, fresh grease here. You know, it came with the manual and everything. I mean, it came with, also it came with the woods mower, a 60-inch woods mower. So, you know, the belt-driven 3-blade kind of deal here. I'll show you in a second. But yeah, a couple things. You know, headlights are disconnected. A bunch of stuff going on. I'll show you what I found with it. But yeah, it got a full service, oil change, transmission fluid change. Everything was lubricated. Everything that had, you know, looked like it needed to slide or move, or bolts that I would probably need to pull out in the future, they all got hit with a lot of penetrating oil. So that made everything easy. Well, relatively easy. Came with a flat tire, so I put some of this, well, I'll just show you here. I didn't have everything I needed to do a tire job on this. So I put some Flat Out, which I think is a rebrand from another more reputable name that existed a couple years ago. But anyway, that fixed the leak, and so we've got a Cub that runs, in my estimation, pretty well. You'll see the battery's disconnected. That died. You'll see the battery's disconnected. That died a bit ago, and yeah, so it got on trickle charge and charged it up. And troubleshooting it, found when I pull, you know, when I pull the lever here, and this mechanism runs, it just started throwing sparks and smoking, like right out of the top of this. Not the starter, but this guy here. So I just got that on order, and I'm thinking a short in there, you know, insulation has worn out or something like that. And maybe that's why this thing's battery died. It's a brand new battery, essentially. It's only a couple months old. Interstate here. 6-volt system, right? And also, I've heard these are positive grounded, but, you know, am I understanding this correctly? Because, you know, here's the negative cable. It's grounded right there. And here's the ground. Does this mean the battery should have the positive up here? Like flipped around, and then I ground positive on the ground. I'm not really sure. Nobody really explained that to me, because when I run it, this if I could get in here, this gauge, it always reads discharge. When it's running, it runs a little bit low, like the needle moves to like -2 or 3. And then when I give it some juice, it goes to like -10, right? So it never shows positive. But it has ran for a while with that. I just kind of ran around and learned how to use this thing. Anyway, like I said, open question. I don't know if you guys know. These things are becoming more popular, it seems. But what else did I do? So, grease, a lot of grease. I don't even know what else to say. Grease. Well, before I get to that, I just found this on the regulator. Exposed wire. But like I said, nothing really stopped it from running until I went to plow with it and it died in the snowstorm. I thought it was just the battery, but it looks like there's more to the story than that. Yeah, oil change, transmission change, final drives. Oh, that's kind of a bigger one. I did the final drives here. Oh, that's really, really shadowy. There's my white balance. All right, so, yeah, I mean, these guys, these were done. I took the whole thing right off the bottom here. You know, this whole thing drops down with like 10 bolts or something like that. And that's definitely a couple beer kind of job. The oil came out like molasses. I don't know if I'll actually... I took a short video of the oil pouring out of there. I don't even want to call it oil. It was literally like tar. It looked like absolute tar. I heard some noise driving around with this thing, and I was like, oh, maybe the final drives are dry. Well, the one was pretty dry, but it was just tar. Like, everything turned to tar. And also, this guy's pretty new here. So right off the PTO, the original, the one it came with, had no, like, it had no grip to it. Like these, they're an interesting design. My understanding is you screw these in really tight, like as tight as you can, and it squeezes this piece here onto the PTO, and there was no squeeze left. So I did some research and found out that, yeah, unless you shim it, you got to replace it. So I replaced it, something off eBay, which is actually, this thing feels amazing. You can see some indicators there. Maybe this will be helpful for you. I don't know. But yeah, this is like 60 bucks or something like that. I got to torque it down again because it's super cold and it looks like it's got some play. Like I could actually walk. I'm actually walking this off right now. So that could be torqued up again. It's like I said, I torqued this down when it was like 80 degrees outside, and right now it's about 35, 38. So you can see it'll just walk right off these threads. So yeah, it's got the touch control, hydraulics, and it wants to run. Definitely wants to run, but you know, I gotta get that switch replaced. So that's 13 bucks, whatever, and we'll see. You know, we'll see what comes of it. So yeah, it's weeping. You know, here and there. I mean, I think there's a drop right here. You can see. I don't know exactly what that is, but so we can focus. And right there. So, you know, it's a work in progress. Just kind of hitting the high notes here, and like I said, came with the mower deck, and the blades were really beat up. So I got some new blades on here, and they, you know, seems like they got some good action to them. And this is a Woods, again, this is a 60 inch deck here. So came with all these brackets. You know, I have a very significant and lengthy manual on how to hook this thing up, and all this good stuff up here too. And it does not look like a job for the faint of heart. This is going to be a significant effort to get this blade off and get the mower deck on to do some cutting. I also got a guy about, you know, an hour and a half away. He said, you're not going to be doing any plowing because you're going to need chains. So these are allegedly Cub chains, you know, period correct Cub chains, about $100, a couple hours away. So before I, you know, experienced the battery or this thing just stopping, you know, working when I was trying to start plowing, I realized I'm not going to be doing this anyway because you'll see out here this slight grade, just this slight gentle slope here, and about 6 inches of snow. Slippery snow was enough to just prevent this from hooking up at all. You'll see these tires are essentially brand new. These tires look great. I can't say brand new. I have no idea how old they are, but they don't have any checking on them or anything at all. They look great. But this would not hook up, and they're not really overpressured. They might be overpressured, like slightly, maybe, but in the grand scheme of things, they should have hooked up. And I was even, tapping the brake and learning all that stuff, and they wouldn't hook up. They just spun, and then it died. So yeah, we got some work to do. I'll film that when I get the new starter switch. But everything else appears to be in order. Yeah, a lot going on over here for sure. And parked with the blade up too for a couple weeks now. I hope that's not terrible for it. I know you're supposed to put the blade down, and this was always parked with the blade down, but it literally died with the blade up, and I can't get it running right now. The starter, it literally sparks and smokes. It turns over, then stops, and then starts smoking. So yeah, I'm sure somebody's going to mention the air cleaner. Where is that guy? Well, oil filter. Yeah, oil filter is replaced. Yeah, it's been a bit. Forgive me, I'm still learning about this thing. Where is that? No, that's... Yeah, right here. This bowl comes out, you dump the old oil out, you pour some new oil in, and it's like your air cleaner. It's like an oil-filled air filter, which is pretty crazy. I don't think I've seen anything like that. That was done as well. Everything besides flushing the coolant out has been done. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, it doesn't leak, it weeps. And a lot of this stuff is penetrating oil that's just sitting here, but some of it, unfortunately, appears to be some engine oil. And yeah, so wants to run for sure. I just got to help it out a little bit. And for anybody wondering, it does appear to have wheel weights. These do kind of look like wheel weights. I can't imagine that they're not wheel weights, but they have it oriented in the inward position, so the hubs are kind of like flipped, I guess, to keep the weight centered. And I'm thinking that might actually work against me if I'm trying to do anything out here on a rolling hills kind of northeast landscape, where I would benefit from having these flipped. So these are like conical. You could kind of see the conical shape here. They would flip out and then protrude out here, and then put more weight on the outside of the tire. I'm debating whether or not this is actually the correct configuration to start trying to do some work, because I do actually legitimately want to do work. I want to turn the ground up and get some stuff in the ground, but I don't want to, flip this thing over and end up killing myself in the process. So yeah, definitely willing to put in the hours to get it done, but it's a huge learning experience. I haven't worked on anything this old, let alone operated it, let alone depended on it to do anything meaningful. So this is a learning experience all across the board, but I'm happy to do it, and there's nothing better. Like when I first got this home, I pulled the starter and it just fired right up, and it didn't even need choke, and it just ran, it idled perfectly. And a lot of folks that saw it were in total amazement that something like this could just idle with such authority and just kind of sit here ready to do work. It's quite simply amazing. It's amazing to have it, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity. And I'm glad that I was able to execute on the deal, because it would have passed me by for sure. Anyway, that's my update for the week, and get ready for more for sure. Different kind of retro going on here. Just trying to cover all the things that I'm working on that are getting old. This is one of them, certainly. New addition to the family, but very thankful to have it. And it's going to do work. It's not going to sit in here and rot. This is actually going to go out and do work. But I have to help it out a little bit, and that's cool too. So anyway, we'll see you soon. Thank you.